Now, to a 10 on your side investigation. For 2 months, we've been investigating lead exposure at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Portsmouth.
Our investigation includes an OSHA complaint and the shipyard's own admission it did have a lead issue and failed to notify all personnel potentially exposed to airborne lead risk for 43 days. Andy Fox has been digging on this story and joins us tonight with what he's uncovered. Andy.
Tom and Anita, several shipyard workers reached out to us about that lead exposure in the Norfolk Naval Shipyard's weld school in Portsmouth. We started digging and learned weld school leadership, including the school's director, failed to inform all workers of their potential lead exposure. That is, until weld school instructor Walter Osborne came along.
They knew that it contained lead.
Lead contamination was found here in Building 234 at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard's non-nuclear weld school. Walter Osborne is a welding instructor with 30 years on the job. He says workers were upset they were not informed about high lead levels in their work area.
They feel like they have been lied to.
Well, I don't know if lied, but, you know, they certainly felt betrayed.
10 on your side obtained the shipyard's response to an OSHA complaint. The Navy, in its response to OSHA, acknowledges hazardous working conditions resulted in potential overexposures to airborne lead for multiple personnel. Some of it involved the cutting of metal plates with blowtorches like this one. The shipyard confirms on June 29th, once questioned by employees, paint samples for lead content were taken, and some came from weld booth ceiling areas like this one. These samples were received July 11th, with confirmed presence of lead in the paint, 3.838% by weight. That is 768 times the accepted OSHA lead limit of 0.005%.
You got those results back, it's right in your hand. Hey, this paint contains lead, bells and whistles should go off.
But we found bells and whistles may not have been going off. In the response to the OSHA complaint, the shipyard admits they did not tell all workers who needed to know. Staff and uninvolved but subsequently affected personnel were not briefed on the results of the paint sample analysis.
The paint did come back positive for lead, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. It kind of blew me away.
Also blown away by this is welder A.J. DeMung.
I had no idea where I was getting lead from.
Who, during an annual physical in June, DeMung's lab report showed 2 times the normal limit for PPZ, a byproduct of lead exposure.
And for 2 months, I had my children tested. I had my girlfriend tested. I, to the best of my knowledge, did not know I worked on lead.
I don't go to work to get poisoned.
Robert Depew, a nuclear pipe fitter, working in the same area, had slightly above normal lab results for PPZ, 51, when the highest should be 49.
I didn't come in with lead on me. I don't want to go home with lead on me.
Then, on August 17th, Instructor Osborne said 4 welding students became nauseous.
They were using some cutting processes, and the paint, the burning of the paint, was making some of the students feel bad, making them sick.
That could be because standard practice is to remove paint from the area before any metal is cut with a torch like you see here. Not to do that is a shipyard and OSHA safety violation where from the burning process, the paint fumes become airborne and could even catch fire.
Notice some of the pieces that had been cut, and there was so much paint on it, there was like, you could see the layers.
After finding that, Osborne then confronted the weld school director August 23rd.
During that conversation, they disclosed to me that the paint contained lead.
Following that revelation, Osborne made sure everyone knew about the lead, but is disappointed it took him and others 43 days from July 11th to August 23rd to learn the truth.
I couldn't believe it. It's egregious.
Thanks to Osborne's discovery on August 23rd, all renovations in the weld school stopped immediately. The shipyard put up this sign that says toxic metal work area for authorized personnel only. The lead box checked. Then on September 13th, the shipyard shut down the entire area for cleanup until the end of the year.
You count on your superiors, you count on the people in charge to do the right thing. I mean, safety is supposed to be number one. You know, that's what we're told every day.
The shipyard, despite having OSHA's highest safety classification, admitted that due to the age of the shipyard, the presence of lead should have been assumed. As for Osborne, some of his co-workers referred to him as a courageous whistleblower.
You don't always have to stand tall, but sometimes you got to stand up.
Since our investigation began 2 months ago, 2 major changes have already occurred. First, we have learned the Weld School director has been reassigned pending the outcome of the shipyard's own investigation. Second, workers have told us lines of communication among workers and shipyard commander Captain Scott Brown have tremendously improved. As for the shipyard, they would not do an interview, but sent us 2 statements you can read online at wavy.com, confirming welders associated with this event are being provided additional testing, along with other non-welder employees. Approximately 90 individuals have been tested, will be tested, or have declined to be tested. Test results have been returned on 49 employees with 0 cases of elevated blood lead levels. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on your side.